All right, this is Cholera with Rise on Game 5 of this saga of a tiebreaker series in the OSL Group A. Here we're going to have July versus Stork, who won the first game against Yellow Arnak, and he also won the fourth game against Yellow Arnak. You know, July Zerk managed to beat Stork pretty well on Tears of the Moon. July Zerk just basically overran him with you know, well, he didn't actually get a chance to overrun him. He basically killed off all the speed lots, and then that was all she wrote. But here we're going to be facing, they're going to be facing each other on Medusa, which is much more of a balanced map, of course. Statistics are almost 50-50. But you know, I still got to put July as a favorite. I mean, just look at the guy. He looks like he's been practicing forever. You know, he just put on a t-shirt today. He's put on some weight recently too, which is a good thing because it means he's been spending more time playing and less time at the gym and wasting his time like exercising. I mean, he just needs to play, dude. That's what StarCraft's about. It's not about being healthy. It's not about avoiding diabetes. It's about beating the opponents. And July is, by the way, statistically the best Zerg versus Pro-Ass player out there who has played more than like 50 games. I mean, might be some savant out there who wants like hit something higher, but he doesn't have, you know, not with any more than 50 games total. Savior, not even as good as July by at least like 2% or something like that. So he's still a big favorite, I gotta say, and this should be a fun match to watch though.
I think that there's a little bit more pressure on July though, because July had this. He had the round of 8 seat. It was in his hands, and for whatever reason, he closed his eyes, dropped it, and it was gone. Yellow Arnak took it away from him. I mean, he had the round of 8 seat, and now he's got to go through it all over again. He's got to win 2 more games. I mean, that's like, oh my God, that's just so depressing to think about if you were that close to it. And now they're playing on a map, Medusa, of all maps, which is completely favorable. I mean, completely able for Stork. Stork will be able to win a game on this match. Okay, I mean, he's gonna be he's not gonna be that far in the deficit. He's gonna be able to take this match from July if he plays it well. He did it before against another Zerg, Yellow Arnak, just before, and so I am fully confident in Stork's abilities, to be honest, of winning this match. And he, at this point, is on the roll. He's in the power seat. He is on the hill in the this match. All he's got to do is win this one more game, and he goes on to the round of 8. So really, all pressure in my mind is on the God of War himself, who, by the way, I think looks better fat. I like to pinch his cheeks, you know, just like he's got all those pinchable cheeks. And yeah, so we'll have to see if Fat Man can win the game and then force it to another match.
Well, I gotta say, if Stork is in the power seat, July is in the stinky seat, the one I was just vacated by Yellow Arnak, who is sweating buckets there. I do hope they have like a towel boy go in between the rounds and wipe the place down. I mean, I do expect that they do, I guess, you know, freshen up the place. But anyway, though, one thing I gotta mention though, Stork has got to be more tired though than July has. July has had to play just 2 very short games, one ZVZ that was like 10 minutes, and one game against Stork that was like 6 minutes or 7 minutes. So he's not as tired out as Stork. Stork's played a good, you know, 70 minutes of games. You know, I don't know if that really matters for a pro gamer. You know, I would be very tired. I don't know how it affects pro gamers, to be honest. I mean, maybe that's not even a point at all, but none of us can tell unless you're a pro gamer who can, you know, go on, you know, 3-hour playing sessions without any decline in performance. I just don't know. Maybe they can do it. Yeah, let us know. I mean, hey, if you're an amateur and you can do it, maybe it's because of all the Adderall you're taking. But anyway, we're going to be seeing a Forge Fast expand from Stork, and we're going to be seeing a 12 hatch here, standard opening for July. And, you know, it probably is going to open up as a standard game. Medusa seems to actually, unless you see the Zerg going for some kind of lurker break on the temples, you generally see standard games on Medusa, at least in the beginning.
You know, I'm going to argue that Stork is tired. I don't think he is, at least not as tired as July is, just because July has to sustain more body mass constantly than Stork.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe they're even on
He might be hungry, too.
He might be, and he might be thinking about eating, I don't know, Stork. Oh, and by the way, I hate BO more than anything. That just bothers me so much. When I talk to someone who has BO, I want to punch them in the throat. You know, it's like, just, why do you stink? Just take a shower and use soap. Dude. That's all it takes, man. Gross. Either way, that for many reasons right now, I think July is at a disadvantage Even though he's got, obviously he's got some crazy PVZ skills, ZVP skills, I guess, in his case, and certainly he can win this game. Now, the question is, what is Stork going to do to prevent that from happening, and what is July going to do to try to win it? And right now, we see the double expand from July, so July is going for that economic game, which is a very viable option, especially against the Forge Fast expand, especially with Stork only putting his Nexus right after his Forge, and then going into Gateway Cannon. So he's going to be able to get his Nexus up very quickly. That economy is going to be rolling very soon. So, and of course, this is partly because of the response of July earlier anyway. So July is kind of forced to go for that in a way. And now he's getting that lair down. And, with the 3 hatches he's got already, I'm going to guess that he's going to go for that Neo Soren build of the Spire into 5 hatch Hydras, Lurkers, whatever it is he decides to go at that point. And really, if he can take down those Temples with some Lurkers and get in the back door, Stork may be in trouble. But again, if Stork can get those Templar up soon enough, and he's aware of any backdoor breakage that might be occurring, he's going to be prepared for it. He's going to be in a good position, especially if he does go those Templar, because we saw how dangerous he can be with those Templar. I mean, with those perfect storms that we were seeing earlier. And it looks like he's going to go in and try to harass a little bit, keep, like you like to say, honest, keep July honest a little bit with that early Zealot. Make him force him to put down either a Sunken or pop out a couple more Zerglings to deal with it. And now we are seeing that 4th hatchery, so I can only assume that that is the build that July's going.
Yeah, I mean, just because he has gone for the pure economy build and gone for so few Lings, I mean, he's able to get that 4th hatch even earlier than usual, which is always nice for the Zerg player. It's definitely a big boon, and we are going to see Aspire. The question is he going to go for any Mutalisks early on with this 5-hatch build? And generally, when people go Mutalisks, it's actually not successful. There's a reason why you don't go Mutalisks with this 5-hatch build unless you surprise your opponent, like July did against Tempest one game on Neo Harmony. But you see Yarnak has gone for Mutalisks in all 2 games he's played against Stork, and both times the Mutalisks were rather unsuccessful. I mean, in the first game he got a couple of probes, but he also slowed down everything else in his build. And here we're seeing July once again going for relatively early gas, which makes me think that he is going to go for some Mutalisks possibly, or maybe just a faster upgrades. Actually, he can get away with this. This is a different situation because he has 3 bases instead of 2, so he's got more minerals. Therefore, he can spare a couple more drones and gas. But my point is, I actually don't like seeing Mutalisks with the 5-hatch build. I actually like just seeing the standard, which is just going into mass Hydras as quick as you can. I think Yarnak could have had a much different outcome last game had he done that.
Certainly, and one of the other things that has to be mentioned is it's much harder to trick a player like Stork than other players. Again, Stork has been doing a fantastic job throughout this entire series with his scouting. He's got probes in the base that were staying in there forever, and then he also keeps getting these Corsair scouting all over the bases of the Zerg players, and even with Scourge chasing him for like a minute, he stayed in, and he's scouting Mutas coming out. He's been prepared for everything that could come his way, and now he's still playing standard, getting 2 cannons up in his main, which is the thing to do in this against the build that July is going in case of that. And now we're seeing a 6th hatchery go up for July. So I think you're right. I think we're going to see that mass Hydra build. I don't think we're going to see many Muta. Also, his gas ended up being a little bit later than normal because he didn't have enough minerals when he put it down, so it did take a little bit longer to get it down. And that to me just indicates that he's going to go for that Hydra build. And again, Stork looks to be putting some early pressure on here to see if July can be taken off his game a little bit, do some damage, maybe take some drones. But July, way too many units, going to force him back very, very quickly. And July in a pretty comfortable position at this point, able to pump out a ton of units, especially as soon as that 6th hatchery pops up. But Stork already with Templar, so at this point I'd say that they're both very even, and no action has really taken place in this match to warrant one player having an advantage over the other.
I gotta say, I mean, July is going to have a unit advantage very soon, and it's going to take Stork a lot of good defending, a lot of good storming, basically, to be able to defend against a 6 hatchery Hydra bust here. It is a later Hydra bust than, a 4 hatch or something very quick like that, but it will still work. It will still kill you, even if you do have just 1 or 2 High Templar. You can storm, and then there'll be more Hydras left, and if you don't have, good enough micro with your probes or whatever you need to defend with, you're going to lose still. And just look at how many forces July's going to have. Now, Stork does have 4 High Templar. He knows this is coming, so I got to assume he's going to do the maximum possible to defend against it. Oh, nice catch there by Julyzer, catching, nice, using the pitcher and the catcher there, the catcher being the Hydras there, and here Stork is, he's ready to defend. The choke is pretty narrow though, so I don't know, is this going to work? This is going to be one of those pivotal moments in the game. Stork going in there, he loses, well, July going in, loses 1 High Templar already. Stork without any storms yet. Where are his storms? Maybe he's saving them, maybe he doesn't have enough energy, but he needs a storm before all the cannons go down. And finally a storm. Oh, that was a good storm. July with a run there, and might be another storm following up. Another good storm there. So July looks like he didn't have that many Hydras. It was very close, but he still might get this Forge, which would still make a big difference. But no, looks like he doesn't have reinforcements. He wasn't moving his reinforcements. July needs to be much quicker with his reaction time because Stork's going to have more storms. If you had that group of Hydras, then he could have taken off the Forge at least, which would have been huge in terms of upgrades.
The flying V of Hydralisk is making its way over to Stork's base, and Stork has plenty of Templars to deal with this. He knew it was coming. Again, he had the scouting information. He knew exactly what July was doing. He had 5 or 6 Templars. He did lose one right away, but he was able to be prepared for this. Now, he's got that Archon, plus Speed Leg Zealots, and he's got Templars to do some more storms. And again, this is a tough choke to overcome.
Oh!
Very difficult. Oh my God, great storms going off continually. July's Hydras are getting weakened too. I mean, all those Hydras, it still looks like a big mass, but every time they take even a little bit of damage from a storm, they keep getting destroyed. Oh, another great storm, and look at the patience Stork has here. He's just letting those buildings absorb hits, and as soon as the time is right, as soon as July may just barely be coming off of his game for a second, going back to his base to macro, he hits him with a storm and keeps him off his base. And really, July did manage to take out that Forge. I don't know if Stork managed to get off that +1 upgrade or not. But you know what? The buildings did exactly what they were intended to do, and that was delay July from being able to break it. And look at Stork just going crazy gateways here at this point. He's got plenty of units, well, not really plenty, but he's got plenty of Templar to continue to storm. But here we are seeing Zerg in its purest form, just continuing to pump over there over and over. Great storms, and man, there are a lot of speed zealots at this point. And oh, the first Archon goes down. Only 1 Templar out at this point. He's probably not even got any storms left. July doing a great job of taking out these zealots, although he could be doing some better micro here. Unfortunately for him, that Archon is doing a lot of damage. He's not really focusing on it, and his forces are being whittled down, and again, he is not reinforcing them like you said. And look at those Templars just pop out. Another 4 making their way over to the battlefront, and they are going to have storm very shortly. Another one in the background as well, and we're going to be able to see if Stork can hold this off. And again, just way too slow. Why isn't he rallying his troops? I don't know. Now Stork is given the chance to get back in this game. Those units, those storms are going to be recharged in those Templars, and he's going to be able to hold this by the time those reinforcements get there. And he's also got 8 gateways pumping, and now Lurkers also morphing right inside his base. But look at Stork.
Oh, Lurker wall!
Storms.
Wow.
Oh, Stork can't get out. But he's got those Templars, so that wall actually a double-edged sword because those Hydras can't move in. They're actually trapping themselves in a way. Those great storms coming out there. Oh, all over those units. And July, man, he's losing a lot of...
oh, wow!
Oh, great storms! July losing so many units of storms. I don't know if this is going to be able to... I don't know if he's going to be able to keep this up.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, why hasn't the Nexus gone down? I mean, July, I know he was busy in a fighting warrior, but running war here, but oh, the Nexus has got to go down. If July can take down that Nexus, this game is good as over, though, but the Nexus is still alive. And oh, what is this, observers? Is there an observer? There is an observer. Oh my god. So the Nexus lives. Oh, that was a critical mistake, I feel, for July. If he had taken down the Nexus, the game could be, you know, it could be different. But, you know, Stork is not out of the woods, but yet he managed to hold while not taking much economic damage at all, I gotta say. I mean, he really didn't take that much damage. He lost a lot of units, sure, but so did July. July lost all of his units once again. Stork, the one thing that Stork doesn't have going for him is his upgrades. He's still at 000 if you notice carefully. And July's at +1 range. However, looks like July he also wasn't macroing perfectly. I think he should have rallied all of his hatcheries to that natural expansion. He oftentimes had, you know, like 15 Hydras just sitting there while he almost achieved a breakthrough. He came within millimeters of a permanent breakthrough that would have won the game, but he didn't get there because he had Hydras just sitting around at home. And now he's going in for it again, but I just think it's going to be diminishing returns here. Stork really, you know, has enough High Templar and now DTs also, and Archons, and Speedlots to be able to push this back, and now July could be in big trouble here. It looks like he's trying to fight this running battle, but he's lost so many forces by now, and he can't he can't fight in the middle. He really needs to get some lurkers and defend. And once again, I wonder if July's over-aggression has cost him, because say he didn't go for that last push, maybe he would have been able to expand again and hold it more, and now it looks like a DT going up to the top. July has no idea it's coming, though. I don't know if he has speed upgrade. Well, he does have an Overlord there, so but he's going to lose the drones there, so I don't know. I mean, it's so close right now. I really can't say. I mean, July, if he can get this base up, he'll be in the lead, but if he can't, he'll be definitely behind.
Stork has regained map control again, and we've seen what Stork's able to do once he gets that map control back. Once he's able to get outside of his base, you are in trouble, especially when he's got that many Templar that he's using so efficiently and effectively. And now he's just going to, look at this, he's just going to catch Hydras on a bridge against Templar. I mean, there's no way they're going to be able to survive that. But look at that flank on the map. Wow, July actually doing a great job here.
Very nice.
Units coming from all angles, but Stork is handling it like a champ. He's got his storms going all over the place. Well-placed storms. He's got his Archons and Zealots on the right side, Goons and Zealots on the left, storms everywhere, and just look at the mass of corpses of Hydras. Oh my God, there's no way that Stork is going to be able, I'm sorry, that July is going to be able to continue to take these losses. I mean, just think of the kill ratios that we're seeing from the units of Stork. It's off the charts. I mean, he just, now finally, those Goons are going down to Hydras, but no, even now, he's still forcing July to head back to his base, leaving a breadcrumb trail of dead Hydras along the way. And there's just, Stork has map control. Look at him, he's got map control, and now he's able to harass that base, which has not done anything yet. He has had no effect having that new expansion up. He's got 4 bases, but it's only 3. The top one can't do anything. It's got nothing finding at this point, and July is now in the position that Yellow Arnak was in just so recently a few games ago, and can July come back from that deficit? He's stuck in tier 2. I don't know if he can.
He's actually really stuck. He does, unlike Yellow Arnak, who got to tier 3 but didn't use it. He doesn't have anything leading up to tier 3, and I gotta wonder, why did he expand there? There's a much easier to hold expansion at the bottom 6th, the 530 position. As you can see right now, it's exposed. That one would have been able to at least allow him to defend from one front, but that top expansion is so hard to hold. He needs to basically hold almost the entire center to be able to defend this, and now it is going to go down. Man, had he just taken the bottom one, he might be okay right now, the bottom right one. You know, but this is going to go down, and I gotta wonder, had he not sent in that last wave, had he just built a couple of lurkers and defended his front, would he been able to expand, you know, maybe to the other main base or to that location on the bottom and get his 3rd gas up permanently and then be able to do a good contain or something? Because Stork was heavy on Archon Lot at that time. If he just got a number of lurkers out and put him in a good position, it would have been very hard for Stork to break out. But nevertheless, we can't know the difference. I mean, we can't know what's going to happen then. July still could have a chance if he can take down these new expansions that are going up, but not if he gets, Storm Drop like this. Stork going in for a Storm Drop. This time, though, only catching about 4 drones. I thought it would actually do a little more damage, but looks like, well, 4 drones is not bad, though. And, you know, there's the cost effectiveness of Stork's army is just ridiculous at this point, with those High Templar just being absolutely murderous. And, you know, even though July slowed that critical +1 attack upgrade, it looks like he's losing this game. I can't believe it.
He's getting lazy, man. He's not even microing his Hydras well. He's leaving them clumped up. He's leaving them exposed to those storms that Stork has just been killing everything with. And there's no way. Now he's trying to take that 5 o'clock expansion that you were talking about. But again, it's way too late. Stork has map control. He's going to prevent any of that from ever going up. And now he's going into the main base. Moving his way with the aid of some storms. And more storms. Just destroying the army of July. And I know you had a couple of what if this, what if that before, but really the only what if that I think would have made a difference was what if he just rallied his troops. He would have won the game, that's what I'm saying. But really, it has just led to Stork getting back in this game, never taking an economic hit, never really losing that much. Again, he just had that cost-effective ratio that we were talking about before, and he just continued to just whittle down the troops in July. 6 hatcheries or not, that hasn't changed since the game started, right? And now we got 8, 9 gateways from Stork this entire time, pumping Zealots, Templar, DTs. I mean, that's all it took. And Storm drop going over Hydras. He's taking out a ton of Hydras with his Storm drops, and even that could have been worth it. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose your Storm drop ever, but still, he managed to get off good Storms, and July didn't do anything about it. He kept them clumped up, and I mean, he was asking to get Storm dropped, and even though he's managing to snipe the observers, it's not going to delay the game like Yellow managed to do, because he doesn't have lurkers. There's no way that it's going to stop him, and Stork is just going to be able to wipe this up in the very near
17 gas. I mean, his gas is just going up so slowly off of those 2 bases. And Storm's bearing everything. Doesn't even matter if the lots get splashed. They're all the way in the natural expansion. Drones are all going to go down. This is going to be it for July. So this means Stork has finally done it. He's won 2 games in a row, and that means he and Batoo will be the ones moving out of this game. GG coming from July Zerg. That means we're done with this group, finally! July Zerg looks like, he just looks so sad. And, you know, he's a big teddy bear in real life, I'm sure. And you just want to be like, it's okay. Let me bring you to a noodle place. Let's get some noodles, July. On me. But, you know, I gotta say one more thing about the mid-game build. The problem is also upgrades. I can understand why you wouldn't want to go to Cracklings because you're still at 0 armor. July at the end, 0 armor, +2 range, but if you go to Hive, +2 range doesn't help you if you go Ultra Ling. So, you know, another thing, another tricky thing that, you know, July just couldn't deal with. He had to win the mid-game and he couldn't.
And it's funny because I have been saying for a while that I thought that Stork was slumping a little bit, and I gotta say he played beautifully in this tie-breaking series. Obviously losing 1 match earlier, but overall getting out of this very tough group against his his weakest matchup, PVZ. He's good at it obviously because he's Stork, but he has the most difficulty with it. And he went against a player like July Zerg, who is 70% ZVP, and there's just the fact that he overcame all that and won the match and broke his way into the round of 8. Just congratulations to him. I mean, very well done. I feel bad again for both July Zerg and Yellow. July had it. He had the game, and he
had it so many times.
Definitely. And Yellow, on the other hand, he never had the game, and he tried so hard, and he just, I got to think that he was slightly outclassed in this, in his opponents this time, with the exception of winning the ZVZ, of course. But even then, I think that he was slightly outclassed in the rock, paper, scissors way that this tiebreaker went. And unfortunately for him, he's out of the OSL, as is July Zerg. So Stork, gonna see if he can go win another one. Obviously, reeling off the last gold that he won, he wants to win another one, and we're gonna have to go see if he can do it. So I think he's in a pretty good position at this point to do so, playing some good games, and we'll have to wait and see.
So, I mean, one last point I'll make is that Stork is in both the round of 8s, and I believe so is Batoo. So, you know, people were saying maybe a month ago that, you know, the Taebang era was over, the Stork Batoo era was over a little bit, but it might not be over. If they both win again, you know, that'll shut up all the critics of these 2 Protoss Titans. So, you know, we'll have to see.
The Dino Toss.
Yeah, anyway, that's all I got. Good series. It was definitely a lot of exciting games.
Yeah, GG, guys.
GG.